happens with aging is more and more of our friends become widows.
Right.
And because you both have already experienced that, you certainly have some insights about how to be for the remaining partner.
Mm-hmm.
And so I heard you say, well, you still will include people socially. Any other insights about how to be with our widowed friends?
I have felt that just the fact that we've gone through it, and that we still are fairly intact human beings, is often an encouragement to people.
Yeah.
And I think that we have a place to speak to things like, really, I often tell people that I think sometimes the second year is even harder than the first year, whereas a lot of people think if you get through the first year, then you really are on your way to healing. And that whole false notion that there is a certain time limit that, things get resolved. They never get resolved in some ways. And I mean, I know in both in almost all the losses, Kevin and then my mom and then my dad, it's a good 2 years where life is just suspended as far as the way and your emotions and your energy. And I think the role of having people like us who've been through it to just help people acknowledge, no, you're not crazy because you're, a year and a half into it and you're still really, really struggling to just make sense of things. I think that role of just naming some of those pieces for people who are in that grief process is really, really valuable.
I also think that I say to people who are in that place, whatever you're going through is normal. Your grief is your grief. It's nobody else's grief. Nobody can tell you how to do it. Nobody can tell you how long it should take. And, be selfish. Take care of yourself. And one of the ways you do that is to ignore the things people say, like, oh, you'll get over it. Well, you don't get over. That's like, okay, I've checked that goal off, now I can move on to the next thing. You don't get over it, you just learn how to carry it better. Mm-hmm. And even carrying it better, sometimes it still can knock you off your feet. And it'll always be that way. And the other thing is, the reason I think people fall off after the funerals happened and people go back to their daily lives, it falls off. They stop contacting you or getting in touch with you because they say, I don't know what to say, or I don't know what to do, and those are the wrong questions, or those are the wrong things to ask, because being with is all you need to do. It doesn't matter if you say the right thing or the wrong thing. Being in the presence of that person without trying to fix them, just to be present to them, that's the biggest gift that you can give. And I always, and I still do this, the worst thing in the world is to call up somebody who's grieving and saying, what can I do to help? Because it puts all the responsibility on the grieving person to come up with something. They're a person like you. What do they need? Well, they need food. They need clothing. They need beauty in their lives. So take over some flowers or make a pot of soup and take it over to them. Don't ask. Don't say, do you need some food? Just make something and take it to them and give it to them. It'll be greatly appreciated. The thing that was the most surprising to me at Sarah's funeral was that after the service, in the reception time afterward, there was this huge long queue of people that wanted to see me, and I was doing all the work. What I realized was their seeing me was the beginning of their grief process, really. And I'd been living it 24/7 since her death. So the funeral was exhausting for me, because not because I was grieving, but because I was taking care of so many people. I thought the funeral was to help me, and it was really me helping other people.